People know Diogenes, philosopher from ancient Greek, for his for being the founder of cynicism, and many of his quirky stories, such as the one where he brings out the plucked chicken and like barges into Plato's classroom, because Plato had said earlier that man is nothing but a featherless biped, and he just holds this chicken in the air and he says like, here is Plato's man. Also the story about where he was in the broad daylight, he took a lamp and he was roaming the street of Athens. And then when people asked him, what are you searching for? He was like, I'm searching for the honest man. And people thought he was mad. Or the story such as where when Alexander the Great, he himself came to visit Diogenes, and when he asked him, what do you want? I can give you anything. And Diogenes just said that, can you just get out of my sunshine? So these are all stories which are his quirks, and they are in term like a foundation of cynicism, and they explain his philosophy. But the story which is really dear to me and which really hits me is when he found out, when he had sudden realization. I always like the stories of sudden realization. So the story goes like, I mean, as like everyone knows that Diogenes was basically a cynic and he had given up on everything. Like he was living ascetic life. Also the clothes, he will just wear anything, live on the streets in a jar. Like there are two famous paintings, I really love them. And he just had a bowl, and dogs were his friend. I think that's why the philosophy is called cynicism, kainos from ancient Greece. So he just had a bowl, like to drink water or eat something, like all the ascetic monks have. So one day, Diogenes, he was in this Athens, like in Agora or in the Athens ancient market, he was there. And in the like middle of the day, it was, I think, scorching heat. He saw a child drinking water. Like it's a common occurrence, like everyone sees it. But the child was drinking water from the like public fountain with his hands made like a boat. There is a beautiful word in Marathi for it. It's called onjar. I don't know the English word, but he was drinking water through his hand, like through the fountain, as we normally do when we don't have glasses. And at that moment, Diogenes looked at the child, and then he looked at his bowl, and he exclaimed, I have been the biggest fool in my life. I have been deceiving people all along. Here I thought that I had given up on everything, that I had become this monk, and this child teaches me that I have been a fool. And that moment, I think it's sending shivers to me. At that moment, Diogenes became the true cynic, or the true man he was searching for in a way. You know, these stories are, they prove the greatness of the people whom we already think are great. Like he could have the humbleness to learn from the child, like the daily occurrence, or the story of Buddha when he saw all the sufferings of the world and he realized suddenly that, oh my God, what I have been doing. These sudden moments, these sudden realizations, they make us feel that we are something, like our conscious is something as a human. I would also have thought that, okay, being from a science background, we are nothing but biological creatures. But this consciousness, which is a emergent property of this all this complex neurological systems and interactions, it's something else. Not in a spiritual way or something like that, but in a way where it is ethereal. That means it just exists. And that's why I would always hold stories like these about these great people dear to my heart. I hope you would get something from this story. Ciao.